Hello and welcome everyone to a new Heroes of Might and Magic video. In this one, we are going to be going over a new template that is currently present in the online ladder matchmaking, and that is Helltide. Helltide is a pretty special format for like a few reasons that we're gonna go over. So we're just gonna like pop right in and we will, take a look at the template and I shall tell you everything that I know about it. If you want to actually watch some games, then you can like pop into my channel on Twitch. I will probably like upload some Helltide games as well. So we can quick start into single hero, can go into Helltide, and can go for random, and let's say we will go the Veer. So we're just gonna be cheating and pop into the view of the entire template to get a feel for the layout and what we have to do to win a game of Helltide. It's pretty simple, however, it's not really intuitive. When I first was playing the template, I had the wrong idea and was doing, things that you're not really like supposed to do. So Helltide is a tempo. Oh my god, we got wings in our bind. This is the best Helltide generation that I've ever seen in my entire life. But that's beside the point, okay? So we're gonna be, like popping in. So on Helltide, you start with 3 towns, okay? And you also have like a pretty tame looking biome with just like a bunch of sawmills, ore pits, and like some, like early game stuff. So you might be thinking, I'm just gonna like buy out some creatures, buy out some economy, like build up, because I have 3 towns and it's kind of cool to do so with that. However, that would be completely wrong. The number one thing that you should notice when you pop into a Helltide game is that you have more army than you usually would have. We have 18 Minotaurs and 58 Troglodytes. We have Minotaurs only because we're the Veer. However, they ended up getting doubled. So yeah, whatever army that you're going to be starting with, it's going to be double at the beginning of the game. So any heroes with premium starting army, such as like Kestrel getting like a bunch of Ostingers, John Johnson getting like a bunch of swordsmen, anyone who like gets a special or good army at the beginning of the game is gonna be heavy priority to be picked up in Helltide, because you really want to take that army and like immediately run through the entire map with it. In this template, you also start with a 0 mana town portal, so you can navigate between the towns that you have. So now we can actually take a look at the map. We will remove the fog of war and also enable all of this. So in your starting biome, you're going to be having like lots of low tier dwellings, most usually. So that's going to be like your infiltrators, your troglodytes and whatnot. So if you're missing army, you can pretty easily like pick up some more. And usually that will not be a very bad idea to do so. But most usually, you will have enough army to already function in the map from the very beginning of the game. What you want to do is you want to build up your hero. So you're going to be just taking like whatever fights, Maria's Altar, so Trophy Hunter's Den, maybe some other banks, maybe some box that you might have. You're just going to be fighting for like a few days on whatever you see, while rallying army for like the towns as well, and then you're going to be getting a decent level. And the moment that you get a decent level, you want to be breaking out of the biome as soon as you possibly can. When you're already like planning to break, your towns are nothing more but astrology pinatas, okay? Whatever wood and ore you happen to have, everything will go into building as much astrology as you can. And that's going to be like all that your towns are going to be there to do. Besides like upgrading tier 1, tier 2 creatures and like building out a tiny bit of army at the beginning of the game. So yeah, astrology is very important. You're building your towns only for astrology. The breaks out of the biome are not too easy, like we have like lots of tier 5s here. That's like a pretty nasty break, and then we actually generated the horde of tier 5s. But most usually it's gonna be something easier, for example some reavers and some chanters, this you're gonna be able to beat on week 1. On a good game, like pretty early week 1, mid week 1, on average game, it should still be like late week 1, okay? And the reason why we're rushing out of the biome is pretty simple, okay? That is because we have creature banks. So both of these zones, so you see, we broke out of our main zone and now we're in the second zone. And then if we look at the other direction, there's also like a secondary zone here. These zones are basically like the same. But the main point is that it will roll a certain type of creature bank. Right now we're rolled for carrion piles. So in Carrion Pause, you're going to be getting, like you're going to be finding some creatures, And then if you defeat them, I mean, when you defeat them, you're gonna be getting some army back. So, you know, we're finding like tier 2 hive and getting tier 6 hive. And if you know that there's like one carrion pile, you should also know that there's gonna be like more carrion piles out here as well. The minimum that I've seen is like 3 per zone, but there can be even like 6 of this creature bank in the zone as well. So you're gonna be able to like basically play the entire rest of the game off of creature bank army. You know, you have like a bunch of wormholes and suddenly you're able to like do almost anything. These wormholes could even like go ahead and do a utopia pretty easily as well, you know. So usually one zone is gonna be good enough. You're gonna be just picking up all the army and moving forward. However, if the game's like a little bit slower for some reason, you can actually go to the other side and farm the creature banks over there too. However, usually you're gonna be strong enough to go middle, okay? So after this zone, you picked up your creature banks and now you're heading for mid. In middle, you're gonna be finding just lots and lots of artifacts, you know, a bunch of relics. So we would probably want the Crown of the Dragon Tooth, if we want some caster stats, the Chittenden Shield is also gonna be like mostly like really good. And also on the road, there's gonna be a Helllight Arena. So Helllight Arena, the way that it works is it's gonna be summoning both of the players into a fight. So basically like Exodus fight, but it's a best of 1 and it's triggered. When you click it, the fight will happen in 3 days from the clicking. So, you know, things down to 1. When the day at 1 is over, you know, like you both will fight. Either you or your opponent can trigger it, and your heroes will be automatically summoned into the fight when the timer expires. So most usually, you're gonna be like getting a bunch of army here, going to middle. You're gonna be not immediately like farming everything, but getting to the Helllight Arena, and during this like takedown, the final takedown after you flag it, you're gonna be like picking up all the artists that you need in order to like win that fight. If you have access to, or maybe you don't have like that much to do in mid, you could also go to like the other side zone through middle, and then pick up the other type of creature bank army that you have here available. In our case, it is the Abyssal Envoys. You know, we could like get a bunch of army here, a bunch of Abyssal Envoys, and a bunch more value. So yeah, and that's the format. You start off with like a bunch of army, you do some early game things, you break into the second zone ASAP, you do creature banks. Off the creature banks, you're then gonna be picking up like lots of good stat things such as utopias and monasteries. Then you break into middle, you flag the arena, and then off of the arena, yeah, you're gonna be finding your opponent. And that's the template. It's honestly like quite a bit of fun. It feels like it can be very, very one-sided, you know? Because like imagine, in this game, like one player has generated like tier 5 Schism as their guards. It's gonna be like really, really hard in this game for the dungeon player to leave their biome, you know? If you packed your bags and wanted to leave the biome like day 4 and went out here, you know, like you're in for like a rough awakening. You're gonna be needing to like TP away to the other side and find like a better break. And if the opponent, you know, doesn't have to do that, then he's gonna be like quite a bit faster. And so, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting template to experiment on. I currently like it in the pool. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about the template as well. I thank you all for watching this template overview. And yeah, I'll see you on the ladder, I'll see you on stream, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!